Hi, and welcome to Projects and Things. My name's Yves. In this episode, we're going to make a kid's climbing tower. And today we're going to work from a kit. The only difference between working from scratch and a kit is that with a kit, you get all of this stuff. Step 1 and 2, basically getting pressure-treated lumber and making a cut list. You skip that part, so you can just work off a plan, and they also provide some colorful things. All right, and the first step in this process is RTFM. Jesus Christ. Okay, I have a helper dog, 2 yards down. Okay, got it, let's build. First thing we're gonna start with, which is the most important and also the most boring, safety. In order to make this thing safe, we're going to add 6 concrete anchors to put the pillars up on, and those need to be anchored in concrete, of course. The step process is take away some dirt, make a square hole, put your anchor in place, put this beton thing in there, fill it up with some water, let it set. 20 minutes later, it's done. What I did here was I took 4 of the beams and marked out what the floor level was going to be, and then physically made all 6 of the anchors level before pouring the concrete. That relieves a lot of the pressure, so you start off with a square footing on your house. So, concrete is now set. I'm gonna put some of my grass back on, and then it's onto building the first walls? Sides? Onto building the first walls. So I laid all the pieces down and used the manual to reference what lengths of wood I needed, and then I spaced them out apart as my plan said, and then I pre-drilled everything. I pre-drilled everything with an 8mm bit for the top parts and then a 6mm bit for the inside. And I used a jack to crank everything in. And then because the one I bought was very, very low quality, the thing broke. So I used a combination of a normal wrench and one of these, I don't know what you call them, pliers. These, I call them like heater pliers. No idea what this is used for, but I use them to screw caps on my heating system. Used this and then the socket of my wrench to tighten this thing back together. And then the final step was flipping the piece over and adding 6 screws to the bottom end. Woo! And now side 1 is finished. I'm not gonna film side 2 because that's exactly the same, it's just missing one tiny cross beam. I'll see you on step 3. And for this next step, which is putting up the 2 halves and connecting them, you're going to need a friend. So your neighbor, someone else, you're gonna need a second pair of hands is what I'm saying. So I'm gonna go get my wife. You can do this with a neighbor or a friend. Perhaps not a toddler because they can't reach up that high. You're gonna need to be social for this next step. So for all the asocial people, I'm sorry. You could also get a lot of clamps. That could also work. Yeah, if you wanna be really asocial, just get yourself a pair of really strong clamps and you can do it that way too. Huh? Yeah, I think here. Yes. See. This is why you need a friend or a wife. So, does this make sense now?
Yeah, okay, bye.
These parts are up. We can introduce the cross beams and tighten those. So, I followed the plans very correctly, but the concrete anchors I bought kind of stick up on the bottom here a bit, and therefore all the planks, the bottom planks that I put on are in the way. So I'm going to take those off, move the whole construction out a bit, and reattach my planks.
Not quickly!
Yeah.
No!
You take one of these things, a level, and you move the situation as much as you can. And when everything is fairly level, you drive in one of these bolts. Hold on. Then you put one of these plug things on. Since we're making this for children and not monkeys, this thing needs a floor because they will be able to climb up from a few different sides and then stand here, slide and play. So there's a bunch of short plankies that are actually already cut to the size of this thing. This is about 75 centimeters, I believe. And now I'm just going to add a ton of flooring so that this is a fully flat platform? Yes, a fully flat plat. In this case, the manual simply stated, make some equal spacing between the planks. And a good trick to do so is to use one of these measuring sticks because they are about 3 millimeters. So when you put a plank down, you give it a measuring stick width and then you drill them down. That way the spacing is equal across all of your planks and they can move a bit during winter and summer. Tip number 2 is that if you have a plank that, like this one for instance, if you have a plank that is slightly bowed, put it with the bow part up. That way your screws will pull the bow down into the wood and basically make your plank straight again. And since this wood has dried a little bit, it tends to crack. So pre-drill if you can. Floor done. Now it's time to build a little bit of this tower, so these walls have a little bit more rigidity to them. Here we go. Same procedure, pre-drill, so you don't split the wood, in with screw, and tighten. By the way, you don't need this super long bit, it's just on here from my last project, and every once in a while I really need this, so I kind of love that it's there. Voila, side done. If you don't have enough friends or your wife has temporarily left you to go get the kids, then clamps are your best friend. Because here I gotta put up 3 plankies and they have to kind of stay hung while I put the screws up. So take a plank, take a clamp, and clamp it. This way I can have a look to see the spacing of this. Ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. Right one, left one, and then I can space the other one right in the middle. Yes! Pi mal Daumen, as the Germans say. There. And then we have to do the same there, but I don't have to show you that because you can understand that part. Welcome to the bottom of this thing. Here we're going to put 4 planks up, also spaced equal width apart, and later I'm going to put climbing holds against it so the kids can climb up vertically here and get on the previously built platform. Thank you. So in the meantime, my children are at home, so then you do this
I'm
on
not your child.
hard mode.
Daddy, Daddy, build me a sled. Do you want to measure that at all, or are you just going to eyeball that?
Eyeball.
Entschuldige bitte. Come.
You pre-drill these things, take a bolt and a washer, and you attach them. Dopsleutels. That's the official name. And voila! Now we have a window and a wall. Just need to tighten a few things. And now on to building the casterly bits up top. And then for these casterly bits, you need smaller screws because they're only going to go through 2 simple planks. And if you take the really long ones, then you're going to poke your children in the face, which is not a good idea. Voila! And it instantly feels like a castle. And now for the most important part of any kid's toy, the slide. Just gonna see that those screws end up in the middle of the board for general strongnesses. Voila, here we go. So now it's finished. I added a few of the colored flags that come in the kit. And we tested it out with a bunch of adults for stability, and everything works out fantastically. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you like these things I do, then please consider subscribing. There should be a button to do so below. And also off to the side here will be videos all about making stuff. So thank you, till next time, bye.